Hi everyone. So it's been a while since I've done an all signs speed reading, so I thought it would be fun to do that today. And so I have one tarot deck and then I have a deck of ancestor messages that we will use. We will go in astrological order, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces. And of course, there will be timestamps in the description and in the comments. So I'll give this one more shuffle and we'll get started with Aries. So we have cheating to win, asking for help, loving each other. So Aries, are you dealing with someone who you feel like is taking too much from you and not giving enough? Are you tired of asking this person to chip in when you feel like you're the one doing all the work or you're the one carrying all the emotional load? That's what this feels like to me. So we have the Emperor, the Magician, and the Two of Pentacles. I feel like there is a message here, Aries, for you to use more discipline in this situation. Because I feel like if you're asking this person to give you more, that's already your clue that perhaps this is not your person. But also you might be asking in the wrong way. And what I mean by that is instead of asking this person for help with the Magician, it's a clear indication to me that you could be asking your guides for help, your angels, the universe. You could be asking for help and directing that help in another way. Because it feels like this is very unsteady. Your feelings right now, that the emotion that's coming through is that it feels very unsteady, very unbalanced, and that perhaps you don't really know your next moves or how to move through this. But I do feel like if you have been in any way trying to manipulate a situation, and I don't mean it in a bad way, we all do it. But if you're trying to control the situation to get someone to do something that you want them to do, but they're just not doing it, then I feel like it's time to go another way, to perhaps, again, talk to your angels, talk to your guides, talk to the universe, because they're going to give you what you need. The Magician is here. So I know that you have what you need and to connect to your angels, to your guides, whoever you talk to. Even if you just need help from a friend or support in some other way, this is very clearly saying stop asking this person and find it somewhere else. So however that works for you. So then we have having many choices, listen to your intuition. There that is again, an intuitive person. Okay, so Aries, I know this is what I was saying, that you have what it takes to get what you need. I think it's just not going to come from this particular situation, this particular person. And you are a very intuitive person. You're showing up very clearly here to me as an intuitive person. And so I feel like all that Aries energy that you encompass, to use it towards understanding that this is not your only choice. Whatever this situation that you're in, where you're feeling like, why can't I get this person to listen to me? Why can't I get this person to do what I'm saying or understand what I need? That kind of energy. Your intuition is really trying to come through here, because the advice here is listen to your intuition, because you have other choices in this situation. I'm seeing Two Pentacles. So this is really just a matter of you quieting your mind and understanding that the situation that you are in right now is certainly not the one that you have to stay in. So the Four of Swords, Temperance, and the Six of Wands. This Four of Swords is more of that intuitive type of energy, Aries. So this is really about you understanding what it is that you desire, what it is you're asking for, because we did have asking for help. Whatever that is that you are desiring, to get quiet and really listen to your intuition, because then at that point, I feel like Temperance is here for the same reason that the Magician is here. This is about asking your angels and your guides for exactly what you want, but you have to be very clear about what you want. And you can know what you want, but it can be from the wrong person, and therefore it muddies the waters of your manifestations. It muddies what you're asking for. So perhaps instead of saying, I need this from this person, just say, this is what I need, universe. This is what I want, universe. This is what I desire, because I do know that your angels are here. There's some kind of balance that's coming in. If you were giving too much, Aries, there is balance coming in. If you connect to your guides, listen to your intuition, that's how you're going to be successful in this situation. I feel like perhaps this other person or situation you're dealing with is maybe not the one for you, because I am seeing you having many choices. You just have to see that for yourself. So that is what I have for you, Aries. So let's move on to Taurus. So we have detaching, stay positive, and leader. So Taurus, it feels to me like you are setting an example for someone, some other people right now, that you could be being even watched right now. But either way, it feels like you're a role model of some sort to other people. And so you may be detaching from a situation, Taurus. You may be feeling like it's become too emotionally too much for you and that you have to separate yourself from it. But because you're showing up as a leader here too, Taurus, I feel like people are watching your reactions to this. And so there is a lot of advice coming through for you, Taurus, about staying positive, because other people are looking at you to set the example. So we have 5 of Cups, 3 of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. So yes, there are other people involved in this situation, because I'm seeing this Queen of Cups here with you, Taurus. But something happened in your environment that was highly disappointing and it broke your heart. And you may even be wondering how you got yourself into this situation. That won't necessarily be for everyone, but there is a feeling of that coming through. Like, how did I even end up here? How did this happen to me? But I do see you emotionally detaching from it. So if you were in a situation that felt emotionally overwhelming, or like almost a depressive kind of state that you couldn't move through, I do see you emotionally moving through that. And even though whatever this was, you didn't see it coming, this feels like a blind side, Taurus. It does. But there are other people involved in this. Loving people, people who support you, people who have compassion for you, intuitive people who it feels like I just keep thinking they're looking to you to set the example, or maybe they need you to help them through it. Maybe they need you to hold emotional space for them while they work through their own heartbreak. But there's something about you coming through here, Taurus. I'm almost getting like you're showing up as a King of Cups energy, where the King of Cups is the person who holds a lot of space for other people's emotions, especially in crisis. And the 5 of Cups and the 3 of Swords is giving me kind of a crisis type of energy, where it feels like you're holding space for everyone else to break down. And even though you're feeling turmoil and you're feeling a certain way and you have to detach from this yourself, you're allowing calmness and peace for the people around you to have their own breakdowns. So hopefully that makes sense. What else do we have for Taurus? Taking care of yourself, that makes sense. Getting what you want and manipulating. So Taurus, I do see you in this energy of perhaps feeling like you have to be by yourself right now, because when you hold a lot of space for other people, it can be extremely emotionally draining and overwhelming. But I do feel that you do take a certain kind of satisfaction or pride in helping other people. It's you have a big heart, but you're also very practical. And you know that when you give to people, that it's for the greater good. And that's kind of that practical or productive side of you. But I think you also believe in other people, and knowing that as long as you're taking care of yourself, that if people need you more than they usually do because of crisis and you're feeling drained, you know enough practically to continue to refill your own bucket before they drain it again, knowing that in the end, it's not going to be this way forever. There's a Queen of Cups here in your energy, which tells me that this Queen of Cups person is normally someone who gives to you freely. But right now, this Queen of Cups person is also suffering and sort of needs you to be the rock. But in the long run, I think you know that you will get what you want from this situation. So if you feel a little bit like frustrated right now with the energy that why does everybody else get to break down? Why do I have to be the rock? I think that there is a message coming through about just try to hold, pour into yourself when you can, because it's the energy will shift. The 5s and the 3s don't stay 5s and 3s forever. This is a temporary position that you and your people are in. And if you can hold tight in the long run, you're going to get your Queen of Cups back or your supportive person back. So there's 3 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and the Sun. This is more of that same energy, that there are certainly people around you who will take action towards you in a positive way. In the long run, you will get what you want from these people emotionally. But this is the way, this message is really clearly saying this is the way relationships work. That when one person is down, the other person has to be up, and then vice versa, right? Like one person can't be the rock all the time, but it fluctuates. And that's what this energy is telling me, Taurus, that you might be the rock right now, but you're working with people. I'm seeing a Queen of Cups, I'm seeing a Page of Swords, who are your people. Right now you're holding space for them so that later they can hold space for you. That's what I'm really getting here, Taurus. So stay positive if you can. I do really feel like you are setting that example for these other people in your life to show them that you have their back, because you know they will have yours when you need it next. So that is what I have for you, Taurus. So let's move on to Gemini. So for Gemini, we have opportunity for love, choose from your higher self, romantic person. So Gemini, what I have from this is if you're choosing a person from your highest self, then there's a portal that's opening up for you. So Gemini, did you just wrap up a cycle perhaps with a different person or a person? Did you just wrap up a cycle? Because it feels like there is information coming in from your higher self that there's a new timeline opening. And it feels like with this romantic person coming through here, it feels like, Gemini, that you are a romantic person. Whoever I'm talking to, it feels like you communicate in a romantic way. And that may be why you're entering this new timeline, because you are choosing from your highest self. This choose from your higher self in this particular reading with all these emotions surrounding it makes me feel like the Lover's card. And by the way, that is your card, isn't it? So, but choose from your higher self is that. In that card, in the traditional card, you see a woman who's looking up at her higher self and a man who's looking at the woman. And so sometimes in love, we let the person that we're with influence us instead of listening to our higher self. But if you choose from your higher self and not a person who's trying to influence you, this is how I think that new opportunity, that new timeline is going to come in for you. So then we have King of Pentacles, King of Swords, and Page of Wands. There's a lot of people here in your energy. I kind of feel like this is the same person and this is a separate person. So there's you up here, there's one person here, and there's another person here. Does that make sense? 3 of you total. So it does feel to me like there is an opportunity for love here, and it's with this King energy, and gender matters not at all. This is you, whoever you're dealing with is showing up as a king. But this is a stable person. This is an honest person. This is a practical person. This is an intelligent person. This is someone who you generally want to spend time with. This combination of a king and a King of Pentacles and a King of Swords is someone who you know is going to have your back. And this is about this other person that's hanging out here as this Page of Wands. You may feel romantic feelings towards this person, but this choose from your higher self is your advice, Gemini, to especially if you're choosing between two different people or two different timelines even, because I feel like this Page of Wands is an old timeline and this King person is a new timeline. So choosing from your higher self would be the new timeline, the new person who's showing up in a stable position, as opposed to allowing this Page of Wands person to influence you. Choose from your higher self, not from influences of other people. So it feels like this other person who you have romantic feelings for is still influencing you to pull you back into the old timeline. But this is really saying, nope, there's a whole timeline here that the universe is setting up for you. So if you just listen, you'll see that there's this King person waiting to be discovered. So what else do we have for Gemini? Being rejected, generous person, reliable person. So Gemini, this is very clear that you're a very grounded person and you're generous with what you have. You show up when you say you're going to show up. You call when you say you're going to call. But this Page of Wands person, I can't help but think that's who this is still not seeing you as the generous, reliable, romantic person that you are. And so that's why the universe said that's enough. Now listen to your higher self and see that there's a whole new timeline developing for you here. So there's the 8 of Swords, Ace of Swords, 10 of Swords. This is very clearly about you limiting your beliefs to that this is the only person for you. This person who continues to make you feel small, keeps you in an old timeline, makes you feel rejected. But I love this for you, Gemini, right here in the center of this spread, this generous person and the Ace of Swords, because you just had an aha moment. You did, Gemini, and I think you know what I'm talking about. You just had an aha moment that you are extremely generous to other people and that you're not putting up with this anymore. You're too reliable to deal with unreliable old timelines, and you're sticking a fork in it, Gemini. I can see you doing that. So I see you taking the advice that came through here very clearly, and that advice for you was to choose from your higher self. I see you doing that, and I think you're about to smack right into whoever this King person is for you. Someone who's been waiting for you energetically, someone who's been waiting for you to stick a fork in this. This is done like dinner. So that is what I have for you, Gemini. Let's move on to Cancer. So for Cancer, we have working hard, hardworking person, and waiting patiently. So Cancer, are you working on something? It feels like you are. It feels like you're probably pretty invested in it with this waiting patiently coming through here too. It almost feels like, even though this is a very grounded energy, it feels like because you're Cancer that you're intuitively drawn to do whatever this is, because perhaps you're working on something, but it feels like you're not seeing any returns yet on your investment. But I feel this intuitive ping from you that you're going to continue working on this because A, you're a hardworking person anyway, but B, because you know these returns are coming even though you haven't seen them yet. So there's the 4 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. So I get the sense that you're working with someone else, and you've reached some milestones recently, which might be helping to motivate you to continue working on this, Cancer, because I see you celebrating your hard work. But I also see you asking for help. So perhaps you've hired someone, or perhaps there's just a business partner involved, but I see you getting support. And both of you are the same type of personality. It's the same person who you're working with, or maybe you're drawing this energy in where you need support, but you're getting the support. And this person is extremely reliable because they're showing up as the Knight of Pentacles, also a very hardworking person. So it's a good match here. And I do see you celebrating some kind of milestones with this person. So if you have been waiting patiently for either a person to come in, someone to help, or even just seeing returns on your investment, it's coming, because I see this 4 of Wands here. Very clearly, that's hitting a milestone that you've been working towards. So what else do we have for Cancer? So we have listen to your higher self, keep your hopes high, and use discipline. So that's a lot of advice coming through, Cancer. Because you are so intuitive, it's important for you to not lose that right now, because we did see a lot of hardworking and grounded energy. We see a lot of pentacles in your reading, which is not a bad thing, Cancer. Pentacles are always a good thing. However, don't lose sight of your intuition, because you get your greatest results because you are Cancer. You are the most intuitive in the wheel. Listen to your higher self is the advice, because if you start to feel like this is slipping, it's not working, you may start to lose discipline when it comes to all that hard work we just saw. That is a clear sign to ask your intuition to keep you on task. And don't lose sight of that, Cancer, because your feelings matter. You're Cancer. So then we have the Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess, and Judgment. This is exactly what we were just talking about, Cancer. Using your intuition. Both of these are about listening to your higher self. The High Priestess is your intuition. Judgment, your higher self. So the only way to keep this moving, this thing that you've invested in, to keep the energy continuing to move and not get stuck in that grounded energy, because sometimes if we ground our dreams too much, they get stuck or slowed down. So keep that hardworking, grounded energy, but couple it with your highest self and keeping a positive mindset and keeping discipline when it comes to working, pushing this forward, and really listening to your intuition. So if you feel like you're losing a connection to your intuition, Cancer, then this is a clear message to make sure you stay connected to your higher self, to your third eye. So that is what I have for you, Cancer, and let's move on to Leo. So for Leo, we have meditate, compassionate person, putting a final end to this. So there is some advice coming through, Leo, about you quieting the mind. You may be, because you are showing up as a compassionate person, you may be taking a chance on a person or a situation because you feel bad for them. You have some kind of feelings towards them instead of knowing that it is time to put an end to this. So therefore, the advice is to meditate and to separate yourself from the situation so that you don't get your compassion confused with what you need to do for yourself. So it's wonderful to have compassion for other people, but not when it comes at your own expense, which I feel like could be happening here, because I am seeing that you could perhaps be putting an end to something. You could be trying to put an end to something, but your compassion might be getting in the way of what you have to do. And so therefore, I think separating yourself in whatever way that is for you, Leo, is going to be the best course of action. So we have the 10 of Cups, Death, and the Ace of Wands. So this Death card coming in here, this is telling me that you're transforming that compassionate part of yourself. So Leo, you are a very purifying energy. You know how to purify your own energy because of that fire that you embody. And so the results of that can sometimes be an acute understanding of what's happening around you. And in this case, you may be feeling like your compassion is taken advantage of in this situation, that perhaps the person or situation you are dealing with, for some of you, this could have to do with family, but it doesn't have to. Absolutely doesn't have to. But this person or situation could be taking advantage of your compassion. But I see you transforming that energy and becoming a better version of the compassionate person you are. Knowing that, yes, you can hold a ton of compassion for other people, but not at your own expense, not when you're not being compassionate towards yourself, and certainly not when it's hurting you. So I see you really purifying this energy that is so you, to creatively look at this situation, Leo, and say, this isn't working for me anymore. So how am I going to transmute this and become a better version of myself while also putting an end to this? And I see you doing that because this Ace of Wands is here. So you know, intuitively, Leo, you know that if you put a final end to this, there's a new timeline for you. There's a green light for you. And whatever you want to do next in your life, choose your own adventure. You're Leo, but you're holding this wand of fire. It's you. And this is the universe clearly telling you, Leo, that it's time for you to go on a new timeline because you've purified this energy of perhaps being so compassionate that you put yourself last. So the message, the advice is to meditate, get quiet, separate yourself from this because you're going to figure out what it is you want. The 10 of Cups is about having so much of what you want that you have enough to share with other people. And that, I believe, is your new timeline. So what else do we have for Leo? Being stressed, that could be this thing you're putting an end to. Escaping, looks like it. Hurting from heartbreak. Again, Leo, this is what we were just saying. If you put your compassion for other people before your own compassion for yourself, then you're hurting yourself. But death is here. Escaping is here. This situation that you knew you needed to put an end to, that's completely stressing you out, draining you probably of all happiness. You're escaping that because you know that you're meant to become a better version of that compassionate person that you are. You know this green light is here. So there's the 4 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the 5 of Pentacles. This is very clearly saying, Leo, that the more you hang on to this because you're trying to not hurt someone's feelings, you're trying to be compassionate for someone else's feelings, the more stressed you're getting, the more you're hurting yourself. The more it's like with this 5 of Pentacles, you're automatically rejecting yourself when you put this other person first. So in this case, you can't help this person without hurting yourself. It's very, what is that word? When it's like one thing affects the other? It's a math term. I can't think of it. It doesn't matter. The point is, the more you help them, the more you hurt yourself. And that's what this is. The Hierophant is here, Leo, telling you that this is a spiritual lesson. This is a lesson about you choosing you. Don't hurt yourself anymore by staying here and escape this situation. But I see you doing that. I see you escaping it. I see you using your mind instead of all of your compassionate emotions, even though you are a compassionate person. In this case, the lesson is using your head over your heart because you're hurting yourself. So there you go, Leo. That is what I have for you. So let's move on to Virgo. So for Virgo, we have having a happy family, let it go, and let it burn. Wow, those are pretty similar energies. They're coming through as advice. So Virgo, are you holding on to something that you know is going to collapse? Because that's what this feels like to me. Or do you feel like you're in a bit of a timeout or do you feel like you're being punished by the universe, that the universe just sent you to your room? Because Virgo, that's what this feels like to me. So let's see what the tarot says. So we have the 2 of Wands, Knight of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles. There's certainly a romantic person showing up here with you, Virgo, and that may be what you're holding on to. It feels like it's a very unsteady foundation that's about to topple over. You could have let someone, perhaps Virgo, trample all over this relationship because for the sake of perhaps knowing that you would hold it together, Virgo. This having a happy family is making me feel like you have invested a lot with this person. Same with the 7 of Pentacles, that you may have invested a whole lot into this, which may be why you're not letting it go. But this person around you, it feels like, can sense that you're not going to let it go, so they trample on it. That's what this feels like. And so the advice is to let this burn. That Usher song, Let It Burn, just came into my head. But I do see you pivoting. I see you starting to understand. I think because you're in a timeout. It feels like you are being punished, Virgo, for something that this other person did. And I see you getting tired of that. I see you leaning on this going, really? Do I have to stay here? Do I really, why am I doing this to myself? That's what I see you doing. I see you pivoting. I see you making a change of plans and perhaps taking the advice of the universe because you're tired of being stuck in a situation that it seems contrived. So what else do we have for Virgo? Chase your dreams, love it. Spontaneous person, and just jump. Virgo, you know what I just got from this is, was this person also holding you back from being yourself? Were you feeling like there was stuff you needed to get done, things you were excited about, things that you couldn't wait to get done, things that you just wanted to put your full faith in, but this person didn't allow that? Like maybe this person wanted all your attention on them, something like that, Virgo? Is this ringing a bell? Because the universe put you in that timeout so that you could detach from that situation and now chase after your dreams. Go do that thing. Go, whatever that dream of yours is that's clearly showing up with chase your dreams, spontaneous person, and just jump. Very clearly, it is your time now to go do you, Virgo. So there's the Three of Cups, Seven of Swords, and the Star, which I'm going to flip over. Yes, there is certainly something here. But look at this Seven of Swords coming in with spontaneous person. You were hiding, Virgo, who you truly are, or at least dimming it down. You weren't being your authentic self in this situation. So I see a lot of things happening for you here, Virgo, that not only are you freeing yourself from this situation, but I see you actively pursuing something, some dream of yours, and finding a soul tribe. The Three of Cups is a soul tribe. That's certainly about friendship. It could be about spirit guides even. But this is really about, there's a clear message that do not hide who you really are, Virgo. Don't do that. And that's the advice. Just jump. Put your faith over fear. The Star card is here too, saying that's going to help you heal from whatever this situation was that needed to be released, that you felt was your happiness, you felt was your happy family, whatever that is for you. It's not. Your happy family, your soul tribe is here. So this is very clearly saying to me, Virgo, that your next step is ahead of you, and do not hide who you are. If you're with a person who is making you be someone that you are not, it's time to go. That seems pretty clear. So that is what I have for you, Virgo. So let's move on to Libra. So for Libra, we have resting, celebrating, and changing plans. So Libra, did you just complete something perhaps? Did you just wrap something up? Because it feels like you're celebrating some kind of a milestone, but it feels like maybe it was hard work. Maybe it really took a lot out of you, because it feels like you are taking some time out right now with resting. And you may be starting to figure out, okay, well, I wrapped that up. So let's see, what can I do next? What next challenge can I take on? So let's see, we've got Page of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. So there's a person around you. For some of you, it's a child or children. And you've accomplished a lot with whoever this person is. It's a very happy, positive feeling that is coming off of this person. So make it make sense for you. You'll know who this is. But it feels like you're really celebrating everything that you have accomplished with this person, all the hard work. It's like a feeling, Libra, of you being really proud of yourself when it comes to this person, this situation, whatever you're doing, the amount of effort you put in, and you can really be proud of what you did for this person. And it feels like now you can just take a break. It's like giving this energy of a child who's now raised. And you can look back and say, wow, look at that. Look at what I can be so proud of. Look at how proud I am of my kid. It's that kind of energy. Obviously, this does not have to be a child for everyone. This can be something you wrote, a book, a business, a painting, a house. Make it make sense for you, but it's something that you put so much work into that you can now say, look what I did. Look at that. I'm going to put my feet up and I'm going to take a break. But the other message that's coming through here, Libra, is that you are not sure what to do next. You're stressing now. Okay, well, I finished that. So, oh crap, what am I going to do now? That's the message that's really coming through. So I feel like resting is a good idea. Meditating, resting, taking time to yourself, these types of energies. When I see a 9 of Swords, I would always say, I would picture that 4 of Swords card and saying, well, okay, but now let's put a framework around this anxiety or this stress, and let's try to figure out what we can do to make all these thoughts make sense, or make them cohesive or coherent, or get a plan. It's like, these are all intelligent thoughts, but sometimes too much intelligence results in anxiety, right, Libra? I'm sure you know. So what else do we have? We have setting boundaries, believe in your dreams, and wrap it up. Okay. So perhaps you're holding on too much to whatever this is that's done, that you raised, you finished, you completed, you sent it into the universe, whatever that is for you. It feels to me like you may be clinging or holding on just a little too tightly, Libra, to this. So there is a message about putting a boundary between you and whoever this person, whoever this situation is, whatever this is you did, that it's time to put a boundary there. That's done. That's complete. You can be proud of it. We saw that you were proud of it. Now it's time to just let it go. So what do you want to do, Libra? What are your dreams? What's your next dream? What's the next thing you want to do? Because this thing is wrapped up. So the more you focus on something that's over, the more it's going to stress you out. So now what's next? It's a very exciting question, Libra, if you think about it. Wow, there's the world. We're going to flip it over. But what did we just say? Set some boundaries. Wrap it up. That's what the world means. Wrap this up, Libra. So this, for some of you, could be a love relationship that is coming to an end, and that may be what's stressing you out. So in other words, if we want to put it back in the original context, this could be that you perhaps raised your kids or did the thing, but now the two of you are finding your separate ways. You've outgrown each other, whatever that is. And so that absolutely could be something that is stressing you out. Releasing another person that you love or had a good history with is always a difficult energy to be in. But this is very clearly saying that it feels like there's another person here that you're meant to work with. This is a very grounded energy, Libra. So if there's something that you want to do next, the universe is very clearly saying, move forward in the direction of your dreams. We're getting that a couple of times now, to wrap this up and move confidently towards something. Because this Queen of Pentacles energy is here saying that there is a person, a very generous person around you who wants to start something up with you. So whether this is a new romantic person, if this is a work person, if this is, it just doesn't matter. It's going to be different depending on your context. But Libra, you will know what this is for you. That it's very clearly time. Something has come to an end. The universe is saying no, but yes to your dreams, Libra. So go do that. So that is what I have for you, Libra. Let's see what we have for Scorpio. So Scorpio, we're starting with green light, seeing the way clearly and pursuing. Wow, Scorpio, that's a lot of fiery energy for your water sign. So you're coming in hot with something. You saw an opening, you see your path, and it's like you saw the opening and you started running. You didn't hesitate at all, Scorpio, whatever this is you are pursuing. So there's the 9 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, oh my God, and the Ace of Cups. So this green light is giving me an Ace of Wands. So Scorpio, basically what I feel like I'm seeing here for you are 3 aces. And it may be because you completed a cycle with this 9 of Wands, but this feels purposeful, Scorpio, and there's more fire here too. It feels like you believed in something, you didn't stop fighting for something, you set clear boundaries, you completed a cycle, and the universe is like, holy crap, Scorpio, you're amazing. So now I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you 1 new timeline, I'm going to give you 3. And because I saw you when that door opened, I saw you running through it. It was like you didn't even stop to see what was in that door. You just ran. And so the universe loves that. The universe loves when you don't hesitate. The universe loves when you appreciate what is being given to you. And Scorpio, I see you doing that. You saw this Ace of Pentacles, you saw this Ace of Cups, and you were like, I'm going. I see it. I want it. I'm taking it. I'm chasing it down, and it's mine. It's like that kind of energy, Scorpio. And the universe loves that. The universe absolutely loves when you grab that opportunity that they give you, or three in your case, and you grab it with both hands and you don't take it for granted. And you say, wow, this is a gift that's been given to me. I'm keeping it. I'm taking it. It's mine. The universe loves that. Wow, Scorpio, I almost want to stop there, but let's see what else we have for you. So we have be fair, thinking of memories, and taking on responsibilities. This is you taking on those responsibilities. We saw that. So the advice that's coming through here, Scorpio, is to be fair. So you could be thinking perhaps about the past memories. So whatever you had to leave behind, whatever this was that you had to close, it feels like you are thinking of that. But I think you're also remembering that you did all of the heavy lifting. So sometimes when I read this Nine of Wands, it's like, this is a person who clearly has gone through a lot. They're bandaged, they're tired, they're exhausted. But when they look around to see, okay, I want to take a break, where's my backup? It's very clearly that there is no backup. They were the only ones standing there. And so I feel like that's what you're looking back on. You're looking back on the fact that you did it right, you did everything right, but there was no one there having your back in that particular situation. So I feel like the universe is just being fair. The universe is leveling out the playing field for you now by giving you massive rewards because you took on the responsibility and because the universe knew that you would have so much gratitude for whatever was being given to you. So there's the Hermit, the Moon, and the Eight of Cups. So Scorpio, this started out as a really great reading, and it is. It's a fantastic reading, but it didn't come easily to you. You got to where you are because you suffered, because you struggled, because you didn't know where you were going, because you put your faith over fear. That's how you got three aces. Three aces aren't just handed to you by the universe. That comes from hard work, rolling up your sleeves, digging deep, doing the work even when you didn't have backup, going through that dark night of the soul, finding your heart center, finding that light inside of you, continuing to walk down a scary path, even though you didn't want to probably at times. You did it anyway, even though maybe there's a lot of bad memories that get kicked up from whatever you just went through. You took on those responsibilities. You detached from whatever this is. You kept going. This is a person, okay, the Hermit, the Moon, and the Eight of Cups are all about darkness. This guy can only see with his lantern. This guy can only see by the moonlight. This guy can only see by the moonlight, right? That was you, Scorpio. You had no idea where you were going, but you kept listening to your intuition, that those secrets that the universe kept telling you to keep going this way, and you did it. And because you did that, 1, 2, 3, 3 times you walked through the dark, you got 1, 2, 3 blessings, 3 aces. So Scorpio, congratulations, because this is the definition of ascension, and you're doing it, and you're kicking butt, and you're taking names, and yay, you, Scorpio. Good job. So that is what I have for you. So let's move on to Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius, I have watch how your life changes, control your impulses, adventurous person. So Sagittarius, is this you or what? Because yes, you are probably the most adventurous in the deck, but you do it wisely. But in this case, the universe is asking you to try to control some of your fiery impulses right now and be more of an observer right now, Sagittarius, than a doer. And with adventurous person showing up here, Obviously, I know that you like to be a doer. The fire signs in general are doers. But this is really asking you to observe for a while. It's time right now, Sagittarius, for you to just sit. Oh, the Tower, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. This Hanged Man is more of that energy of what I was just saying, that it's time to just observe. Watch how your life changes. Don't do anything right now, Sagittarius. And I can't help but feel excitement as I'm telling you this reading. And here's why. Watch how your life changes just came in with a Tower. So either something just happened that made a massive upheaval in your life, or it's about to, but it was meant to happen. Something was meant to topple over in your life. And I have a feeling, Sagittarius, that you already kind of insightfully understand what we are talking about, if you don't blatantly know what we're talking about. That Tower is coming down, meant to change your life. So if you can just control your impulses, don't make any moves, watch it come down, and just hang tight is what this is saying right here. Just hang there and just wait. Let the universe do the work. You, Sagittarius, don't have to do any work, because everything that feels like it's crumbling around you, you're about to get rewarded with these 10 pentacles. So if you can just sit and watch, observe, put yourself in a timeout, sit on your hands if you have to, tape your mouth shut if you have to. That's the energy. To control your own impulses. Let this happen. Let whoever this is step in it. Let whatever this is fall down. And then you're going to be rewarded because of your ability to control yourself. That's an interesting message, Sagittarius. I would love to hear what you're going through. So what else do we have for Sagittarius? Release this. Yep. The Tower generally means that. Not making a decision. And winning. More, Sagittarius. Sit on your hands. Don't do anything. Let this fall. Don't try to pick up the rubble and try to build it back up. Don't say anything. Don't decide anything. Don't do anything. Do this. Do this, Sagittarius. Because winning, that's the winning move right there. That's your move. Nothing. Your move is nothing. Silence, steadiness, nothing. Interesting. So there's the Five of Swords, Page of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. Okay, well, no wonder. You're dealing with a pretty nasty person. Maybe someone who was cheating, lying, petty arguments, competing. This is a pretty nasty person that you're dealing with here, Sagittarius. Someone who was meant to learn a spiritual lesson but didn't, perhaps. And so the universe was like, yeah, no, we're going to take this away from you, Sagittarius, because the only way to win these stupid arguments is by not being in them at all. So it's like this person that you're dealing with that you maybe perhaps couldn't figure out what to do because it was so confusing, or maybe you wanted to engage, maybe you did engage in the past, which is why your advice is to stop engaging. It feels like that. It feels like this person wanted you to continue to engage in their stupid game. And as soon as you remove yourself from the game, then they win, but it's because they're the only one playing. Does that make sense? And the reality is you win, because you, like, if they're sitting at a poker table and you get up and leave, well, now they have no one to play against. There's no game anymore if you get up and leave. The game is gone. It's just poof, it's over. You need more than one person to play that game. And so I do see your rewards coming in. This is you really leaving with all the chips, but in a different way. The universe isn't going to give you the poker chips that were on this table, but the universe is going to give you a crap ton of poker chips from somewhere else because you learned the lesson. That's going to be your reward, Sagittarius. So please let me know what that means for you, because that was an exciting reading. So that is what I have for you, Sagittarius. Let's move on to Capricorn. So we have confident person, taking for granted, aha moment. So Capricorn, I do tend to think of you as a very confident person. You're enterprising, you're hardworking, you're generous, you know your value, you have enough to share with other people. So this taking for granted is a little bit confusing, because are you taking something for granted? Because that's the energy that I'm getting off of this. That maybe because you're such a dedicated person. But with this aha moment coming in here, you may be realizing that maybe you did that, or you are doing that. So there's the Empress, the Chariot, and the Seven of Wands. I see you're not taking another person for granted. That didn't sound like you. That's why I was confused. You're taking your own potential for granted, I think, that you perhaps don't see just how enterprising you are. There, we got there. You are showing up as a confident person and the Empress. Your potential is so great, it's about to burst. So I feel like perhaps you, in the past, you weren't doing that. Maybe you had a dream, an idea, something ingenious that came over you that you were like, I have this greatest invention ever and I'm going to change the world, but you never did anything about it. That kind of energy. So, but I see you understanding that, wait a second, if other people can do these things, of course I can do it. It almost gives this impression with taking for granted that you had a really good idea. And then one day you turned on the television and you saw that someone else did that. And you were like, oh, that was my idea. I wish I had done that. That's what this energy is. But you're having an aha moment about yourself right now, Capricorn. That's what this is. That not to lower your standards, that this, you've got a new idea coming in straight from the universe. This aha moment is kind of like the Ace of Swords for me, that you're getting another one of those ideas. So don't let this one slip by. Charge forward. Don't lower your standards. Don't say, oh, I can't do that, because you can. You're the confident Empress. You can. If there's anyone who can do it, you're so enterprising, Capricorn, that if this is your message, please take this as a sign that whatever you were thinking about doing, go do it, because the Chariot is here saying all you have to do is start the car, and the universe is going to help take this off, help you to take off. Wow. So what else do we have for Capricorn? Having enough to share. Didn't I just say that you have enough that you can share it with others? I'm pretty sure I did. I said you were generous, I think, too. Compromise and cooperating. Compromise and cooperating are giving very similar energies, that perhaps you need an investor in this, or this might not have anything to do with what we were just saying. We'll see what else comes out. But it does feel like there could be someone that you can maybe be, you can invest in it and they can do the work or the marketing, or you can produce it and they can write it, whatever that is for you. But it feels like there is something here about you investing in whatever this was, but also finding good people to work with. Yeah, there's a person. There's a Queen of Wands. Wow, there's a Queen of Swords. And there's the Devil. So I'm going to flip that over. So this is very clearly Capricorn saying that to just be careful about who you choose to give to, who you choose to compromise with, who you choose to work with. Because I do think this is more of that similar energy from before, that don't get seduced into just sharing, but find the honest person. That's what this is. There's a very attractive perhaps investor, and then there's a really honest investor. And I feel like you're going to know because the Devil is here. So when you do go to find someone to work on this with, just be careful, but you're going to figure it out, because it's very clear these two different energies coming through, that one is going to be flashy and drive a fancy car, and the other one is going to just lay it out and put pen to paper and show you how it's all going to work. Does that make sense, Capricorn? But you know this better than I. You're the business-minded one. So you explain it to me one day. So there you go. That is what I have for you, Capricorn. Let's move on to Aquarius. So for Aquarius, we have holding yourself back for fear, learn the lesson, and talkative person. So Aquarius, I'm getting a message that you're supposed to have a conversation with someone, but you haven't had it yet because you're terrified to have this conversation. But this is a very important part of your spiritual awakening, your spiritual lessons. So I feel like this is going to be something that is going to certainly be an important part of how you move forward in your life, because learn the lesson is here. So this is very clearly saying to have that conversation anyway, no matter how scared you are. So there's the 10 of Wands, there's the Lovers, and there's the 6 of Swords. So the conversation you're meant to have is about you wanting to leave. So whether this is leaving a job, leaving a relationship, whatever this is, you would like to escape something. And you know the lesson is that. But here's the thing, we had the Lovers card show up here, Aquarius, which tells me that you are allowing another person's influence to keep you from speaking your truth. So that's your lesson, Aquarius. That's your test. You are being tested right now to not let the influence of this person hold you back in fear, to speak your truth, even though it is scary. Aquarius, we have all been there. Of course we have. And you've been there before too, where speaking up for what you believe in, speaking up for what you want, speaking up for what you need, it can be very scary. Breakup conversations, excruciating. Quitting your job, very uncomfortable. Those types of things. But this is saying do it anyway because you're being tested. The test is, are you going to continue to take on burdens and responsibilities that are not yours because you're too afraid to speak up? And the Lovers card coming in with learn the lesson is saying that's the test. The test is, are you going to allow your toxic boss or your toxic partner to influence this decision? Or are you going to listen to your higher self, learn the lesson, have the hard conversation, and escape from this? So let's see what else we have for you. So we have curious person. I love that for you. Honest person and spending time with friends. So honest is what we were just talking about. Being honest with yourself, having that hard conversation. But then with curious person and spending time with friends, Aquarius, it opens up the possibilities for you that you can be curiously taking action towards other things, other jobs, other opportunities, other people, because I see spending time with friends. So perhaps if this is a breakup conversation that you're gearing yourself up for, it's a good opportunity for you to spend time with the people you love, or the people that you can be honest with, or the people you can be yourself with, or the people who treat you right or are honest with you, because I'm getting the impression that whatever this situation was, it didn't feel good anymore. It didn't feel honest. You didn't feel supported. It felt like you were doing everything. Somebody else had their feet kicked back and kicked up and saying, okay, well, Aquarius is going to do it. So I'm just going to sit here and eat my cheese sandwich. That's what this is giving, that you have to escape from this so you can spend time with people who are better for you, better suited for you. So there's a King of Wands, there's a King of Cups. Nice. And there's a Fool. Yes, Aquarius, just do it. Just do it. Put your faith over fear. Have that conversation. Because there are people here that I think you're curious about, new people, new situations, new jobs. This is interesting because the King of Wands is my boss and the King of Cups is my partner. So this to me feels like it could be a new job. It could be a new partner. It could be both, but it starts with you being honest with yourself, speaking your truth, knowing what you want, Aquarius, and having that really uncomfortable conversation. But you're going to be so proud of yourself and feel so good once you do it. So there you go, Aquarius. That is your reading. So let's see what we have for Pisces. So for Pisces, we have don't let confusion stop you, multitasking, and student. Okay, so Pisces, you're clearly learning some kind of a spiritual lesson right now. You are in the process of doing more than one thing at once. So whatever that is for you, make it make sense. Are you working and side hustling? Are you taking care of a home and a job and kids? Are you dating more than one person? Are you juggling two people? Make that part make sense for you. Hopefully we'll get more as we go deeper. But the advice is, don't get confused. Like, don't, because maybe because you're confused, don't stop. because that's your lesson. So maybe you're feeling a bit overwhelmed in your multitasking. Maybe you're not sure which way to go, but this is just saying keep going in the way that you've been. The Two of Swords is not doing anything. And that's what I feel like the universe is telling you, don't decide right now. The universe is saying, don't worry about it. If you don't know the answer, then don't make one. If you are juggling two different people, for example, if you are juggling two different jobs and you don't know which way to go, the universe is saying, then don't make a decision. Yeah, more waiting energy, Pisces. So this is saying, so the Three of Wands is seeing the path clearly, but you're obviously not seeing the path clearly because we have this card of confusion. So this tells me that whatever it is that you are juggling, working on, trying to make a decision on, can't make a decision on, it's very clearly just saying, just wait, because the answer will come to you. The Knight of Swords energy is information. So I feel like there is something that's going to come in the form of information, a conversation. Someone's going to tell you something. Whether that's good or bad, Pisces, it almost doesn't matter. Someone's going to tell you something that changes it, that clears the confusion. This sword is going to cut right through the confusion. So if you were trying to decide between two jobs, someone's going to come in and say, this is why you need this job, or this is what's wrong with this job. Same. If you're dating two different people, someone's going to come in and say, show themselves their truth. And you're going to say, wow, I really don't want that. And then you'll know. So the point is, this is about waiting. Do not make a decision right now. This is your lesson, Pisces. Maybe you've jumped into things too quickly in the past. Maybe you felt pressured to make a decision in the past. This is very clearly saying your lesson is don't do anything, not until you have all of the information. So what else do we have for Pisces? Holding on tightly, arguing, and regretting. So Pisces, is there a person in your energy who might already be starting to show you who they are? Are you holding on to something that you kind of already regret? And this is what we were saying, that maybe you've jumped into something too quickly but then you regret it. And then you hold on because you don't want to fail in something. You don't want to regret the decision that you made, even though perhaps maybe this person, this Knight of Swords person, is always coming in hot, or always coming in criticizing or arguing or picking fights or whatever this is. But this is a very clear indication that this person may be showing you who they are, Pisces. So there's the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. This is that same person. This person just comes in hot. And it feels like, this almost feels to me, Pisces, like a little bit of chaser energy, that you're holding on to this person, you're chasing them down, you're really trying to get them to come back in a situation. But then it always leaves you feeling regretful when this person can't make up their mind. So this feels like a dating situation. It could be work in the sense that you could have a boss who's making you false promises and then pretends like they don't know what you're talking about. But it feels more like love. That it feels like there's an opportunity here from the universe for you to multitask. There might be another person that you can think about, another person that you can date while this person is figuring their own stuff out. But there's a very clear indication that the universe would like for you to try something else. Not make a decision about this person, not chase this person. It's a very still energy. It's hold still, Pisces. While this person makes a scene, you hold still so that you don't regret any decisions. And then let this person show you who they really are, so that when it does come time for you to choose one person over the other, you'll be very clear on who that person is. So Pisces, I hope that made sense. Please let me know how that was resonant for you. And we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.